This is Time Signatures with Jim Ervin, a podcast and radio program presented by the Capital Area Blues Society in Lansing, Michigan.
Driving up and down these Michigan roads, yeah.
And now, here he is, your host, Jim Ervin.
Baby, I'm home.
Well, thank you so much, Parker, and welcome once again to Time Signatures. I'm your host, Jim Ervin, and you already have met one of my guests today, but as many of you know, I offer an open door policy, inviting my guests back if they have news to share, such as news of an upcoming tour, a new record label signing, or in this case, the pending CD release. Now, as fate would have it, we're also fortunate to not only welcome Ben Levin back, but we're also pleased to welcome one of his many musical collaborators, Takuto Asano, with him. And he is visiting us from Japan in the Cincinnati area. Gentlemen, welcome to Time Signatures, and welcome back to the United States.
Thank you. Thanks for having us, sir.
Very nice to have you. Guys, there's a lot to dig in here, so I want to get right after it. I want to hear from both of you. So, please jump in if there's things that you have to add to the conversation. And I guess the best place for us to start, Ben, is the story of your meeting with Tak. How and where did this relationship start?
You want me to? Yeah. Well, so we met in 2019 through the Pine Top Perkins Foundation. So I was attending my second year, and I was headed down to Clarksdale as an intern, and Tak had signed up as a student that year. So the director and the folks of the foundation recommended, that Tak and I connect ahead of the workshop. And hey, you guys seem to be into the same kind of traditional blues, and you should really connect. So Tak and I really met through Facebook, and we started talking about music. And I got a message probably about a mile long from Takuto saying, "This is who I like to listen to," and all these different styles. Nice. And at first I read it, and I thought, "There's no way he's listened to all these guys." But of course, then I heard him play, and I said, "Okay, yeah, he really is a master guitar player." So we said then meet in Clarksdale. Tak flew to Cincinnati, and another friend of ours, Ben White, flew to Cincinnati from England. Wow. And so the three of us connected in Cincinnati and drove down to Mississippi together. It was just a great road trip, and obviously a great workshop experience. And we've been buddies and musical collaborators ever since then.
Wow. Now, Ben, I know that I follow you on Facebook, and I noticed that you were just in Japan not long ago for a small tour with Tak, weren't you?
Man, it was so beautiful. I got to spend time with Tak and his folks, and we really got around the country a little bit. I spent a week in his hometown in Sapporo, which was pretty unseasonably cold for April. I ended up having to borrow a winter coat. I didn't expect that. Okay. But it was so beautiful, and everybody was so friendly, and it's just one of those trips of a lifetime, and I hope I get to do it again.
Very cool. Go ahead, Tak. You wanted to say something?
That was just one time, and a job. So we have a few, but deep blues fans in Japan. We have so. The Japanese blues fan, I'm sure that the blues fan in Sapporo, Tokyo, Osaka, Kyoto, they're very happy to hear his sound.
Oh, I can imagine,
this traditional style. There's a few bands like this, So, so I want to say thank you for coming to Japan and show what you're doing,
It's my pleasure.
Well, I can imagine that there has to be some significant differences between Japanese and U.S. culture, musically speaking. Ben, how well were you received over there?
I think really well. I played some smaller venues, some really, really intimate clubs, where, I'm sitting here playing and the audience is right here. And it was just really fantastic. And I loved the musicians too. I told this story when I got home, I had a rehearsal with one of the bands before the gig, and I actually had one of the musicians correct me about a song that I had written, saying, "Hey, no, this is not how you played it on the record." And I said, "What do you mean? What are you talking about? This is how I play it." And I went back and re-listened. I said, "Sure enough, he's right. He knows my song better than I do now."
That's just fun.
I really appreciated the musicianship, and just the diligence. It was so easy for me to come in, and we played 6 shows, and every show was with a different band, different drummer, different
Wow.
bass. But it was like butter. It was like nothing. So it was so really, really cool.
Now, Tak, I assume this was your first time that you had been visiting with you in Japan. How did you
Yes.
feel that things went? Were you guys received well by everyone? Was there excitement for the music that you were playing by those that attended your shows?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, someone very excited. uh, how do I say? We sold. He actually sold a lot of CDs.
Right. Yeah.
And we did. So he got like a lot of CDs and support he brought, and after the 3 shows, it's gone, almost gone.
Oh my gosh.
People excited. Yeah. So, well, you should bring more CD.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that. It's, it can be hard to sell CDs these days, but
Yeah.
over there
Oh
they're
yeah.
moving like hotcakes. So
Well, Ben, you've traveled across the pond in other areas of Europe. How would
Mhm.
you how would you describe the acceptance of the blues in Japan versus Europe? Would you say it's as good as Europe? What would you say?
I would say it's a similar thing. There's uh, I think sort of a deep intensity in the following of the blues. People in Europe and now I witness in Japan. It's I don't know how to say, it's not a casual thing. People are really, really deeply into it, and they love the history and um, you know there it's not sort of a singular style of, oh, this is blues. It seems to be a understanding of the vastness of all the different styles within
Yes.
blues.
Yes.
uh, a musician that we worked with, a really, really great guy. His name's Miki-san. He runs the Hoodoo Man Blues Band in Sapporo.
Very
And
cool.
he doesn't speak any English. And of course, I should have worked more on my Japanese. I don't speak really any. But we carried a whole conversation just talking about our favorite musicians. And he was naming all these people going way back into the 20s and 30s. So just a really, really deep following. Not, I would say, not a large following, right? But the people that are into it are really, really into it.
Very
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
In Tokyo, he when he played um Charles Brown song,
Mm-hmm.
every time he played Charles Brown song, so he said like, "Oh, Charles Brown, he's a West Coast side bluesman, and he was a mentor of Ray Charles." And then people recognize, "Oh, Ray Charles," and a few people know about Charles Brown, but not many people know about him. So, but in Tokyo, there were really deep fans there. So when he said, "Oh, I'm gonna play Charles Brown," people were, "Wow, Charles Brown, Charles Brown!" And it was just amazing, and
Yeah.
I was kind of proud of it. Okay, oh, these guys know Charles Brown.
They know the good
Yeah,
stuff.
good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Tak, I want to flip the script a little bit here. Now you're here visiting. You've been here before. How
Mhm.
well are you received over here with your music?
Oh, Well, I think, well, so, well, it's a lot. But, I think the rhythm is different, very different. The drum rhythm, yeah, we do, yeah, same stuff when we run blues from the record, and maybe now for now YouTube. Yeah, we
Okay.
do same songs, but I just feel, well, slightly difference from the rhythm, especially rhythm, the drums and bass. Yeah, I love this. Yeah, I love this rhythm section in the US. It's hard to say, and it's hard to explain.
But you're
Okay,
saying you
okay.
get a feeling playing the music here. 'cause
Yeah,
of-
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But say the audience is
Oh,
pretty
oh,
well receiving you.
oh, yeah.
Good.
Oh,
Good.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
No, it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, really, I'm really glad to yeah, hear that some audiences, oh, you know how you play, how you know the blues, and yeah, when I was in New Orleans, I played once in the New Orleans venue, and
Okay.
one uh one woman, one, maybe she's 60 years old or something. Huge blues fan. She was like,
Yeah.
"Hey, you keep the blues alive. No
Yes.
many people don't play that song. You keep the blues alive."
It's encouraging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
that's yeah. That's a very interesting thing, and I was very honored, yeah, to hear that, and oh, maybe I did I did right thing. No, right blues.
yeah.
I
Well,
played.
it has to be nice to hear that kind of response when you're, a visitor in a country and,
Oh,
try and
yeah,
doing your best to play the music as well as it should be played.
yeah.
I can tell you, I've seen some video of you playing the blues, and I'm very impressed with it. Uh, I gotta
Oh,
turn the page, guys, because I'm really excited to hear about this project you guys are working on, and you're very soon getting ready to release a new album. Tell me about it. Fill
That's
me
right.
in, guys.
Well, this album actually started with collaboration with Takudo. So
I forget about
no,
that.
it's okay. We're talking about long time ago, 5 years ago. We did a recording session, and it was great. It was my first time in the studio with Tack. And we got one song that we really loved that we decided to keep, and it was a Christmas song called "Forgot Mrs. Claus." So
Oh, very
we
cool.
released it as a single that year, and ever since then, it's been on my mind. I would love to do a Christmas album. I love, there's so many great classic blues Christmas songs, a lot of stuff from King Records here in Cincinnati. And I love, when the holidays come, you can revisit all these great blues Christmas songs. So Tack and I collaborated on another song, but I'm getting ready to release the album. It's called Levin Presents a Holiday Blues Revue. So Takudo's a special guest, and we also have Lil Ed from the Blues Imperials, Lil
Nice.
Jimmy Reed track, great blues vocalist Candace Ivory's on a song with me as a duet, and great local Cincinnati blues veteran Sonny Hill sings on a track. So
Wow.
got some special guests, and it's just a lot of fun. I think it's a great record. I'm proud of it.
You really should be. And let me just say that you remind me so much of Bob Cortor. It seems like every
That's
time
my
you
mentor.
release something, what's that?
I said that's my mentor. I love Bob, so thank you for saying that.
Bob is an incredibly gifted musician. I consider him a good friend. We've built a friendship over the last year and a half. But the thing that I like is, I mean, for example, the album, that you put out with Jimmy Reed, back to Little Jimmy Reed. Sorry about that. Back to Baton Rouge.
Mhm.
Um, every time you put something out, including your most recent album, Take Your Time, the likes of which, and of course, Bob Cortor put some notes in here, and I really like that. You got Lil Ed, you got Bob Strozier, you got Little Jimmy Reed, Johnny Bergen, Noah Witherspoon. I mean, I look forward, honestly, to your work now because you're always collaborating with someone, and I think that it's very important to, if we're going to keep the blues alive, that there needs to be these collaborations. And Corridor is an incredible study if you watch the way that he releases his albums because he's always collaborating with people. And he actually invited me to come out and join him in September for his birthday celebration in Phoenix. Unfortunately, we have plans to go to the University of Michigan game against Minnesota. Already had the tickets bought, or I would have
Oh,
been there. But he told me, he said, the only
sure.
thing I'm going to tell you is that weekend when we're not at the Rhythm Room, we're going to be in the studio recording another album. And I'm like, oh man, I would love to be there for that. But
Yeah.
it's exciting to me when I see a young guy like yourself and Takuto working together with these seasoned musicians and putting out collaborative works like this. I really enjoy it. Talk about that for a minute. And what does that mean to both of you to be working with some of these incredible talents?
Well, from my point of view, Jim, uh, you talk about you have me, right? And Takuto from Japan, and we have
Yeah.
seasoned veterans, some elders on stage with us sometimes. Last year when Takuto visited, we played the King Biscuit Festival with Bob Stroger on bass.
Man.
Um, and so, when we get on stage together, no matter who's on stage with us, we transcend age and time and any sort of barrier that you would have uh, in everyday life. We're all just playing music together. And the bassist that I work with regularly in Cincinnati, another veteran on the scene, is Walter Cash Jr. And
Yes.
when he first met Takuto, he says, "You play guitar like I remember the style back in the day. I haven't heard that style in so long." And he just loves Tax playing. So
Wow.
it's really, really a beautiful thing.
And it has to be um a very sweet experience to be on the stage, especially for both of you because of your age, especially for Takuto because he's not from this area. He's actually from another country. It's got to be an exciting thing to be on stage with these people and share that experience with them. Yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. So yeah, on the stage, I really focused on the music. So, I just focus on it. But
Sure.
after I came back to Japan, you know, I I reco I got some videos and I I watched and now I recognize how that was beautiful, you know.
Yeah. Oh, I
How
can imagine.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And I could cry on only the bass note, yeah, Bob Sturgeon and Walter Cash. I really love both of them, and I actually one day I actually cried, you know.
Oh,
Oh,
Frank Payne or
I have Frank Payne for sure, but in Japan, I
Mhm.
mean, in Japan, I watched our videos and wow, this bass line is existing. Oh, that's amazing. I really wanna, yeah, like I said, I really like rhythm section in the US song. I
Yeah,
I
yeah.
really like this playing. So yeah, it's just unbelievable. So I would cry. And I
No, I
actually
I can imagine. I mean,
cried.
you're standing up there with giants, and it's
Yeah, Jack.
just as
Blue
somebody
Giants. Yeah.
watching from the side, it's an incredible experience. Guys, with the release of
Right.
this CD, have you guys talked about doing some touring both here in the United States as well as in Japan?
Well, obviously I want to get back there, Herb. I really fell in love with the country, and so we're talking about me going back next year, and Tack. I told him he's welcome to come to the U.S. whenever he wants to. I'm happy to host him. My folks help host him. Yes, thank you. So we don't have anything concrete, but we're certainly brainstorming and working on some more trips.
Well, we
Yep.
need to get you guys up into Michigan to play. And Tack, I want to thank you so much for signing this CD for me.
Yeah, thank you.
Since this is your first appearance on Time Signatures, Tack, tell people where they can find more information about your music, maybe if they want to get a CD or find a way to book you.
Oh man, yeah. We have so we don't ship in the US, but you guys can search on Instagram, Takuro
Hmm.
Asano, and my band is in my bio, and we did actually we did released our latest live album. This is first one, and we just released last month the second live album on Spotify and Apple Music on streaming stuff, and um we uploaded on YouTube so 7 songs music
Nice.
video of that live album from the live album. So
Okay.
yeah, so yeah, we focus on the um video quality and recording quality. So I hope you guys enjoy the YouTube too. So well, search Takuro Asano on Instagram, or our band is Abucon, Avucon. Yeah, search the Abucon on YouTube. There's many music videos we uploaded last month. So
Awesome.
I,
Awesome.
I hope you guys enjoyed it. Yeah.
And
Well,
I think it's. Oh, I'm sorry, Irv.
no, no, no.
I
Go
was
ahead.
just,
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say that Tack runs like 3 or 4 different projects, and
Right.
Abacon's just
Yeah.
one of them, and he's the band leader, and he manages. It's a 10
Nice.
piece R&B soul and funk band.
Yeah.
So Tack's got a
Wow.
lot of plates. So I'm really impressed because I struggle enough just keeping 3 or 4 band members working, and he's
Well,
got all these different.
yeah, and I'm excited to get a copy of the new album when that's available. If you have the live album, if that comes out on CD, next
Yeah.
time you come to the States, or maybe
Yeah.
I can get information from Ben to get it from you directly from Japan, and I don't have any
Right.
problem, purchasing a copy of that. Ben, you know the drill, man. You've got CDs out, you have them available. Where can folks get your CDs and all the other information?
Yeah, the best way is through my website, benlevinpiano.com. And like Tack said, I'm on Instagram as well, Ben Levin Piano, and Facebook. And I always try to keep things up to date, so people know what's going on.
Very cool. Now, you are going to be performing. You were going to come to Michigan, and you were not able to come to Michigan because you're going to be performing with someone very special. You want to talk about that real quick?
Yeah, yeah. So I'm really honored. I was invited to play at the historic Blue Front Cafe in Bentonia, Mississippi, which is now the oldest, longest running juke joint in Mississippi.
Wow.
And it's run by the legendary blues man Jimmy Duck Holmes, and so he overtook it from his parents, and now he runs it. And of course, Jimmy is one of the last purveyors of the Bentonia style, which started with artists like Skip James. And so he invited me to come down and play the festival and to even back him up and support him on his set to celebrate the anniversary of the Blue Front. So really an honor for me. And of course, I hope I can make it up to Michigan soon. But yeah, a very exciting thing for me.
Well, we definitely want to get you up here. There's not a doubt in my mind. And I want to thank both of you for your time. Asano and Ben Levin, it has indeed been a pleasure, guys. Thank you very much for taking time today for joining us on Time Signatures.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for having us. Thank you.
It was a great pleasure. Thank you.
Well, that wraps up this edition of Time Signatures with Jim Ervin. Many thanks again to our very special guests, Asano and Ben Levin. But even more importantly, we thank you for taking time to check us out and watch our program. For without you, none of this would be possible. Jim Ervin reminding you that keeping the blues alive is everyone's responsibility, but preserving the history of the blues, one story at a time, is my mission. Until next time, my friends, so long.
This has been Time Signatures with Jim Ervin, presented by the Capital Area Blues Society in Lansing, Michigan. For more information on cabs, visit capitalareablues.org. You can find this episode and past episodes at lccconnect.org. The Time Signatures theme song, Michigan Roads, is used by permission and was written by Root Doctor, featuring Freddie Cunningham.
You know I'm trying, baby, driving up and down these Michigan roads, yeah.
Until next time, keep on keeping the blues alive.